This is Gilles Villeneuve in the pits, so it looks like Ferrari have really concluded another disastrous day for them, and very much, yes, that's the retirement for Villeneuve. Now, as I was saying about this row, we've got a problem with the skirts. The big breakthrough in performance has been through the aerodynamics, and we have things called skirts on the sides of the cars which run along the road. You can see them on a side shot. There, the other side of the car is actually touching the road. It's spring-loaded, and this flows all the air under the car, and by some clever trickery that the designers have dreamt up underneath the car, they get a terrific vacuum created that makes them very fast. The only thing is, it's a new science, and nobody really knows what makes one fast and the other not fast, which is why we've got these big gaps. Now, the powers that be, unfortunately, have gone into a big battle on this subject, and instead of cooperating to bring the cars back to reasonable performance, there is general concern that the cars are too fast. We've had the constructors helpfully making suggestions to reduce performance, and then we've had their traditional political enemies vying for control of Grand Prix racing, and that is the international body, who is now called FISA. I'm not quite sure what it stands for, but somebody I know, no doubt will know. And they have given a sort of a challenge statement. They've ignored the set of suggestions that the working body for Formula One, comprising the constructors and other people involved, made, and just come out with a set of new rules that's going to arrive too early, breaking the rules about how soon they can be implemented, and the constructors have just simply said, no way, we're going to fight that, and we're back to politics. They've basically announced that skirts will be banned from the beginning of next season onwards, and the constructors have said we just don't accept that, mainly because there's as much politics as reality in this. And it's a great pity for Grand Prix racing that the two bodies are fighting each other yet again, because Grand Prix racing does need a major rethink for the regulations to get racing back to being more equal and exciting.
Alan Jones out. So with Lafitte closing on Jabouille and Arnoux, there is the car of the man that is leading the World Championship, the Australian Alan Jones, in his Saudia Williams car. Leyland car is out of the race. And that, incidentally, is not Alan Jones marching about on the bank in the flame-proof overalls and the helmet. It is one of the South African marshals who is very sensibly clad for his job. And what's the driver's reaction, I wonder, to all these skirt problems that we've been hearing about?
Well, their reaction has been very fierce as well. I was just going to come to that, Murray. What's happened is that the two, as I say, potential governing bodies are fighting and failing to agree. Meanwhile, the drivers, who, led by Jody Scheckter, have been cheering very strongly for reducing the performance of cars, both from the safety point of view and in the hope that it'll make racing more equal, and their own personal skills can be put into effect rather than having a lot of designers doing it all from their home office. And but the only thing is the constructors have been leaning on their individual drivers to not support a ban on skirts, and we've had a major split in the Drivers' Association. I believe we've had 3 of the top drivers walk out on the association. I won't name them for the moment because I don't have full confirmation of exactly who it is or anything, but we've had at least 3 top drivers walk out on the association, as I have to say, egged on by their teams, and largely those drivers are drivers who, of course, have cars that do very well with skirts. And so one of the big problems of politics in Grand Prix racing is that people tend, of course, to fight for what's good for them rather than what's good for Grand Prix racing in the sport, which is a fairly reasonable, normal thing to do. But the guy who has a winning car at the front obviously wants to keep it that way, and the guy who's at the back obviously wants cars changed, and it makes an untenable situation.
And the man at the top at the moment is René Arnoux.
It's fantastic for me and for Renault.
How did you feel when you saw Jean-Pierre Jabouille pulling into the side?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I know this is a problem, because when I am behind Jean-Pierre, I see the car like that, and I think that is a puncture. But for me, at this moment, the car is very good, and I don't know. I have no problem for the race.
And as you've just said, René, you're top of the World Championship with 18 points. Did you expect at the beginning of this season that you'd be in this position in South Africa?
No, because in Argentina is very difficult for Renault, but after for the Brazil, and here the car is very, very fantastic. And I am very happy with my team because he worked very hard. There is many tests in France, and you win when you work very hard.
You must have been pleased when you saw Alan Jones parked by the side.
Pas compris.
When you saw Alan Jones arrêté,
Yeah.
you were very happy.
Yeah, but it's not my problem because I have seen the car, but I don't know if it's Jones or Rutman. The more important for me to finish the race.
Thank you very much,
Okay,
René Arnoux.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So the South African Grand Prix was not at all a happy race for Ferrari. Scheckter and Villeneuve out. Not at all happy for Lotus, De Angelis and Andretti out. Not all that happy for Williams, with only Reutemann in 5th position. But for Renault and for Ligier and for France, a marvellous day, with 4 French drivers in the first 6. In a month's time, Long Beach on March the 30th. Not so easy for the turbos. We'll be there on Grand Prix, so join us for round 4, BBC 2, March the 30th.